Hey Legionnaires, Josh Fallenwhiter here, and I'm a little bit behind the eight ball in getting this information out to you. This has been big news lately, and of course by the time this video goes up a week from now, 2 weeks from now, it's going to be even further in the past. But it's been a big story in the markets and everything like that, and if you haven't heard about it, there's definitely some interesting things going on here. So I want to talk to you today about what has been happening with GameStop, because I think it's absolutely fascinating what has happened here. It's where a group, what I've heard is David versus Goliath. Bunch of little guys get together to take on the hedge funds, and they made money doing it. So what exactly happened? Well, before we get into that, let's go over some key terms that you need to know in order to understand how this all worked. First is a short sell. So a short sell, if you don't know what that is, it's a hedge that traders make against a company where they say, okay, we think company X, their stock price is going to go down in value. So we're going to put a contract out there that we will buy that at a future date, or between now and a future date. And there's typically a time limit on it and everything like that. So they go in and they say, we're going to buy it today, but we're going to sell it. Well, we're actually going to sell it almost today and buy it tomorrow when it's less. So we are taking a contract that we're selling it at $50 and buying it at $25. We make the difference when we sell it a few weeks, a month, or whatever from now. So they're shorting the stock, saying it's going to go down in value. And you can get a lot more technical with it, but that's the basics. You're selling what you don't actually have yet. You're selling the stock at $50. Hopefully you can buy it at $25 later so that you can fulfill that order. What happened, or the other term that you need to know, is what's called a short squeeze. A short squeeze is when instead of going down, that value goes up or that stock goes up in value. So instead of going buying today or selling today at 50, buying it at 25 tomorrow and making that difference in profit, what happened was they sold it today at 50, and then the stock price went up to 75. And at 75, they actually were forced to buy it before it went to 100. So that they're actually trying to minimize their losses in that case, because it makes more sense to only lose $25 a share versus $50 a share. So that's what a short squeeze is. It was a force on the hedge fund to buy versus buy before they could what's the word I'm looking for? Buy before they needed to, so that they could minimize losses. That's the big thing on a short squeeze, is it forces the company to minimize losses. So what happened is Reddit, which is an internet website, and I have not spent hardly any time there, but they have forums and everything like that. One of the forums, I think it's called Wall Street Bets, is a bunch of I want to call them amateur traders, but what they did was really smart and advanced. So it's not like amateur traders like you and I. These are amateur traders in that they're not Wall Street traders. But however, a lot of amateur traders like you and I followed them and got on board with this, which is what made it work. So a ton of amateur traders got together, and what they identified was that with the pandemic, a lot of these hedge funds shorted a bunch of retail stock, including the biggest one being GameStop that everybody knows about now, but also Bed Bath & Beyond, AMC, Blockbuster, who I didn't even realize was still a company, but they realized that these hedge funds had bought or put out these short sell contracts, and what they did is they said, hey, we can make money if enough of us can get together to force this stock price up instead of down. Those hedge funds will be forced to buy at our new high price versus sell, and they make money. So that's what they did. Enough of them got together, and it took a lot of people with a lot of money each And then and then enough little people got on board with it, also buying just a few shares here and there than with what they could. And everybody placed this bet, and it forced these hedge funds to essentially buy GameStop stock at a loss. What that did is it made the problem worse. So as the hedge funds began buying, that made the supply tighter on what was out there, and it actually drove the stock even higher. So super interesting on how they did it. And of course, what then happened is the hedge funds lost billions, and a lot of these individual investors each made $1 million or $2 million or whatever. Great money for these these small little guys, and a really good FU, or stick it to you, to the big hedge funds that everybody considers greedy and not part of Main Street America. So super interesting there. And then lost my train of thought there, and I'm going to have to edit out that because I just realized that I'm not using cuss words on this anymore. So what has happened more recently is Robinhood and some of these other apps that have come out in the last several years for free trades said, hey, we're not going to let you buy any more of this stock because you're just going to drive the price up even further, and it's a market manipulation. Now, manipulating the stock market is illegal, but it's hard. The SEC, which kind of monitors the stock market and everything like that, they are more concerned with market manipulations by big hedge funds who have deeper pockets and are easier to go after. Easier, not legally, because the hedge funds can hire great legal teams, but they have the deeper pockets and they're easier to identify. It's easier to identify one or two big hedge funds that have participated in market manipulations than it is to identify thousands of people, of individuals who did it. And most of those individuals didn't make enough money to make it worthwhile to go after them. So, if you bought a share or two of GameStop during all of this and it went up 340%, yeah, you made 340%. So you made $1,000, $2,000, something like that, because the stock price was only like $34 in the first place. So you're not making a ton of money. So does it make sense for them to go after you? Not really. And if you're only investing a little bit into it, you probably don't have a lot, even if they pursued other additional damages. So really interesting setup there as well. So anyway, Robinhood has said, we're not going to let you buy anymore, only sell, which is now reversing the problem. Now the prices are coming back down, which is good in the way that, hey, yes, these companies need to be fairly evaluated. GameStop hasn't made any money since, as far as I know, since they debuted on the stock market. So they really shouldn't be valued that highly. But yeah, so now those are coming back down. The question is, why did Robinhood decide to limit the traders? Robinhood just destroyed a whole bunch of trust it had with its user base in order to limit these trades. Now, is Robinhood in bed with the hedge funds? I don't know. Maybe. Probably not, though. I mean, when you get collusion at levels like that, that's some market manipulation. So, but what Robinhood is really afraid of, though, is the SEC. And because the SEC can slap them with fines and shut them down. So Robinhood needs to say, hey, we took steps to eliminate market manipulation from our user base so that the SEC doesn't fine Robinhood. So there's that. That's all I understand about it. Probably not nearly as in-depth as you could get with this. It's absolutely fascinating, but if you want to know more, or if you're like, hey, maybe there's some new strategies out there, you can go check out Reddit. I believe the thread is called Wall Street Bets. It's where it started. maybe they're going to have something else coming down the pike. You never know. Anyway, that's what I got for you today, Legionaries. Hope you enjoyed it. Another short video for you. Have a great day. Bye.